I love to go into history. I mean, I don't shut up about it. This is probably one of the most boring parts of the class. And you know, how wonderful. I start with the most boring part just to get you guys like really motivated, right? But I really think that it's super important that we look at the ancients and continue to use what they were using, because they weren't distracted by electricity. They didn't have 9 to 5. They went according to the sun, according to the moon, according to if Sirius was coming up upon the horizon. They used the planets for timing their lives. So in Babylon, they used to consider also direction and orientation. So when they used to look at eclipses, for instance, if it was coming from the left, it was favorable for the country of the enemy. And if it was coming from the right, it was more favorable for the king. And how they get to know this over time, they used to think an eclipse meant that's it, you're decrowning the king, you're getting rid of him, and he's gonna be kaput, until one day when they switched out the king with someone else and the king still died. So, and they're like, oh, it's the direction. It's all these little knowledge points that we build on top of each other. And I need you all to keep that in mind when we're learning, because this does not come like that. It comes with practice. It comes sometimes with adding your experience into it and living it. The archaeoastronomy of it. So Ptolemy rationalized and simplifies the Babylonian approach by inventing a system that divided the 12 zodiac signs into corresponding regions and people. Interestingly, in Babylon, they used to build circular cities. There's a lot lost into translation, obviously. Now, the other thing that McKean, if you've ever read any of his work, man, this dude does his research. Highly recommended. Super heady, not easy read, so just read it bits at a time. I mean, it's not meant to be read like a novel, but it's like go to his corresponding points. And he even looked at it with the archaeoastronomy, the placing and construction of sacred sites from the megalith structures in Egypt, Greece, Mesoamerican, and Hindu temples. They reflect a concern with both the universe's metaphysical structure, and the observation of the horizon. Okay, with the phenomenon. Why? Because that's what they could see. What you see is very important. Think about it with Pluto. When did Pluto start becoming more prominent in our lives? When we became conscious of it. Yeah, we can't see it, but at the same time, we're more conscious of it. And that's like seeing it, because you're seeing it in your mind's eye in many ways. Same with Eris. And if you ever go to any of these sites like Stonehenge, you could see certain days of the year where the sun lines up, and that's dealing with the horizon. If we took Stonehenge as is and we transplanted it to somewhere in South America, it wouldn't happen that same way, because we changed the local space. The horizon. Oh my God, what a tricky thing this is, because we have a question. Let me bring the mic to you.
Not a question, just a comment. When I went to, just a comment related to that. When I went to Peru and did Machu Picchu, they explained when the sun came in and the equinox and the solstice. So it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is really cool when you get to see these things. And you know what's really interesting too is if you look at it, many of these are off by like a fraction of a degree. And the reason for that is sometimes we've had some cataclysmic events, whether they were super major earthquakes or like volcanoes happening or a meteor hitting us, and that would actually change just a little bit of the tilt of the earth. It's a perturbation. It does correct itself over time, but that's where that fraction of a percent comes off with the alignment. But holy cow, how is it that we think that we're so much smarter than everybody else that came before us when, you know, we haven't, I don't see, we never built the Tower of Babylon or a pyramid again. I mean, not the same way, right? Okay, back to the horizon. So we all know that the true horizon, we all know the horizon to be where the sky and the earth meet, correct? However, we have a visible horizon. And that visible horizon is a tangent. It's a straight line, that tangent. It is, you could look, that's where the true horizon is where the earth meets the sky, that's the tangent, and you cannot see around the bend of the earth. The visible horizon, if we look up slightly, and there's no obstruction, no hills, no trees, no whatever, we could see as far as the eye could see. It would take you about half an hour at night on a clear day for your eyes to fully adjust. We've all been there. We've all experienced the magic of the skies, where you're looking and all of a sudden there's like more stars, more stars, more stars in between the stars. And you're like, oh my God, this is so freaking beautiful. It's because our eyes, our rods and cones are adjusting. Eat more carrots, people. Okay.